On 8th March 2014, a Malaysian Airlines flight took off from Kuala Lumpur but did not reach Beijing, its destination. Till date, no one knows about the whereabouts of this flight. But after 11 years, finally, we've found a clue about the location of this aircraft. Welcome you once again on RealScope channel. The date was 8th March 2014, that is, about 11 years ago. Flight MH370, an aircraft of Malaysian Airlines, was bound to take off from the Malaysian capital Kuala Lumpur and land in Beijing, the capital of China. 2 pilots, 10 cabin crew, and 227 passengers were present on that flight. Most of the passengers belonged to China. Both the pilots were very experienced. 53-year-old Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah had 33 years of flight experience, while 27-year-old co-pilot Farouk Abdul Hamid was a junior pilot with 7 years of flight experience. This aircraft was an 11-year-old Boeing 777 aircraft, in which there was no problem of any kind, nor was this aircraft a victim of any mechanical or electrical fault in the past. What I want to say is that it was completely a regular flight running between Malaysia and China, which used to fly from Malaysia to China or back to Malaysia from China after flying for 5 hours and 34 minutes daily. But today was not a normal day for this flight. Rather, it was much more than abnormal. Of course, flight MH370 was supposed to fly for 5 hours and 34 minutes. But before takeoff, it was loaded with fuel that was more than required, with which it could fly for 7 hours 41 minutes. That is, 2.5 hours, more than its actual requirement. It is also a routine practice of airlines to do so that if the plane is diverted owing to the bad weather emergency, then it could utilize the extra fuel.
Delivery Malaysia 370, good morning.
Malaysia 370, standby. Malaysia 370, request level.
370, we are ready, requesting flight level 340 to Beijing.
The day was 8th March 2014, and time was 12:42 a.m. when flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur as per routine. The first pilot, Zahari, was in direct contact with the Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control Tower before and after the takeoff. On takeoff, the aircraft turned its direction towards the South China Sea, and after 20 minutes at 1:09 a.m., the transponder on the aircraft sent its current GPS location to the radar of the Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control Tower. This is the automatic function of the transponder to send its current location to the nearest radars after a short period. Till now, everything was going according to plan. 10 minutes after that, at 1:19 a.m., when flight MH370 left Malaysian air jurisdiction and entered Vietnamese air jurisdiction. The control tower of Kuala Lumpur contacted first pilot Zahari for the last time and said this.
Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
This means that now, flight MH370 should contact the control tower of the Vietnamese city of Ho Chi Minh. First pilot Captain Zahari heard this message and also replied to it.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Neither the control tower nor did Captain Zahari knew that this goodnight message was going to be the last message to be received from MH370. At this time, a full 37 minutes had elapsed since the flight took off. Now it normally happens that until the plane reaches its destination, it stays in contact with the air traffic control tower of any major airport coming in its way. And similarly, it was expected to happen here also. But everything that was going on normally till now started becoming abnormal. Yes, exactly 3 minutes after his last message, at 1:21 a.m., flight MH370 suddenly disappeared from the radar. That is, the plane had completely disappeared from the radar of both Kuala Lumpur and Ho Chi Minh. But this was completely normal for Kuala Lumpur Tower, because they thought that MH370 had now entered Vietnamese airspace. That's why it disappeared from their radar. But when the Ho Chi Minh Control Tower saw flight MH370 disappearing from their radar, they felt something was wrong. They immediately tried to contact the captain, but no one responded. For the next 18 minutes, Ho Chi Minh Tower tried to contact MH370, but still got no response from the captain. And then Ho Chi Minh Tower contacted the Kuala Lumpur Tower and briefed them with the situation. Now, normally in this condition, the rescue center has to be informed within 1 hour, but the Kuala Lumpur Control Tower informed the Aeronautical Rescue Coordination Center after 4 hours. And by then, it was too late. It was 6:15 a.m., and this was the time when MH370 was scheduled to land in Beijing. There was a hope that the aircraft might land in Beijing at the correct time. But no positive news came from there either, and 6:32 a.m., a search operation has been started at the exact place from where the plane disappeared. 34 ships and 28 aircraft from 7 countries started searching for flight MH370 on the border of the Gulf of Thailand and the South China Sea. But unfortunately, there was no trace of the aircraft. By this time, the whole world had come to know about this incident. TV, news websites, and social media were all showing only this news. During this, the investigation team of many countries also became a part of the search operation. No one was really able to understand the reason behind sudden disappearance of the aircraft from all the radars. And even if it had crashed on this area of the sea, being such a big aircraft, it was expected some wreck/debris to be seen. This search operation continued for the next 4 days, but still, there was no trace of the aircraft. But then on the 4th day, a news came which shook the entire rescue operation team. When flight MH370 disappeared from the radar at 1:21 a.m. on 8th March, it had disappeared from the civilian radar, but remained on the radar of the Malaysian military for the next 1 hour. And what happened after that was like this. After disappearing from the civilian radar, for a few minutes the aircraft started moving towards the right and then took a U-turn and turned back to Malaysia. After 31 minutes, the aircraft crossed the Malaysian city of Penang and then turned towards the Malacca Strait. Flight MH370 was last detected up to this point in the Indian Ocean as far as the range of military radar could detect. And the time was 2:22 a.m. After this, MH370 neither showed up on military radar nor on any civilian radar. The entire rescue team was trapped in one terrifying mystery. Where did flight MH370 go? And why did it suddenly turn away from Beijing? The search was first focused on the Gulf of Thailand and the South China Sea, but no wreckage was found. Then shocking new data changed everything. Although MH370 vanished from civilian and military radar at 2:22 a.m., it was still silently communicating with a satellite. Every hour, the aircraft sent automated signals to a satellite 35,000 kilometers above Earth. Using this data, experts reconstructed its final journey. The plane had turned once again and flown deep into the Indian Ocean for nearly 5 more hours. At 8:19 a.m., MH370 sent its final satellite signal, and then vanished forever. By the time the search began, the aircraft was already thousands of kilometers away from the original search area. Investigators now believe the plane ran out of fuel and crashed into a vast, curved region of the southern Indian Ocean, 2,000 kilometers west of Australia. This search zone was larger than the entire country of India. A massive deep-sea operation began and continued for years. More than $160 million was spent, yet no main wreckage was found. In 2015, a crucial discovery was made. A wing flaperon washed ashore on Réunion Island. Experts confirmed it belonged to MH370. Its condition suggested the aircraft hit the ocean at high speed, nose first. More debris later appeared on African shores, but the main wreckage and black box remain missing. Without them, the truth remains locked in the deep. Some investigators believe MH370 was hijacked. Others suspect a catastrophic electrical failure that left everyone unconscious. The final answer lies somewhere beneath the dark waters of the Indian Ocean.